Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders. This is Rev-UP. I go by SageFT online. You're watching the live trading desk for the 7th of December, 2025. All right, as we come into the close of the year, the question on the chart has been, do we have a Santa rally? Well, yes, soon. Okay, make sure you've Googled the definition of that. Hit the like button. If you enjoy the content in this video, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. And I want to remind everyone, Apex has quite the sale going. They have the $600 million sale going where it's 84, what does it say? 84.40 all in any account. Folks, any account. I've been buying accounts left and right, because it's time to fill the basket, right? Let's rock and roll here. First month is $78.40 and then it's $6 activation fee once you pass it. I check for the details for information past what I've shared with you. All right, now what I want to talk about is, before we get into what's it going to do, let's talk about what happened. All right, what happened was we broke the trend line, tested it, and pushed throughout the week. They tried to sell, didn't work. Tried to sell, didn't work. Now, what I want to focus on is something magical. Okay, now there's context to this whole thing. So I want to bring it into context, right? And the context is we have to understand how order flow works, right? And what I want to share with people is the people that are trading the candles are actually behind, right? Because they're not looking at what's inside of the candles. Yeah, I see that there's a big blue candle. You buy here and sell up here. Buy here and sell up here. Buy here and sell up here. Okay, but where did you buy here? Were you supposed to? Well, when you put context to it, no, because that's where I think that's where I closed. Let me see if it does it. Yeah, closed it at 03, right? Okay, now why 03? Well, Mancini had an 03 up there, and that's the gospel. Okay, so that was my final target. Now look, it was absolutely the top, but how did they see that it was the top besides going, oh, well, Mancini called 69.03? I'm going to show you. All right, first thing is you see that there's a lot of selling bubbles, red bubbles in relation to green, right? That means they're taking profit as it comes up. Now here comes the battle. Okay, you get digestion, first seller. Okay, now how do I know that? How do I know? How do I know that? Watch, I'm going to show you. Not just do we have these bubbles. Okay, all of this is right on NinjaTrader. This is order flow trade detector. This is order flow cumulative volume delta. All right, so what we're looking at here is, and then of course we have the tape, and then we were watching the order flow in real time. So now here we have the seller gets absorbed. Okay, the buyer gets absorbed this time. Now these buy signals start to fail. Okay, so now watch how this works. The moving averages flip. We're up based on context. 69.03 is where we're supposed to kind of find some sort of seller, some sort of resistance, plausible supply zone, that kind of thing. All right, now let's move it over. All right, and as we're watching a higher high, look at how they're leaning into the bid. This is them selling market to the outstanding bid. Okay, selling market to the outstanding bid. It doesn't matter whether the price goes up or down. It's showing that there's more traders relative to previous selling to the bid than there was before. Look, this is their sell. They're buying to the offer. They're buying to the offer, selling to the bid a little bit more, buying to the offer, pushing it, right? So now that we have the premise of what this indicator does, what we're looking for is, well, what's the divergence? Okay, well, notice that when this made a higher price and you have a large buyer on green bubbles, notice the delta doesn't spike, okay? And so if the delta doesn't spike at 03, you're kind of going, well, what the hell? Well, the blues didn't work anymore either. Now all of a sudden we're in the chop zone. Let's keep going. Uh-oh. Okay, now here's where this gets fun, because it gives us the clues on the footprint. Okay, now we're going to assume that it's rolling over, right? And I'm going to, right on the 15-minute, you can assume it's hit resistance or supply. And I'm going to show you how we see it actually rolling over. I'm so glad you asked. All right, the first thing that we see is as we get up in here, we start to see cumulative volume delta negative percentage, right? There's the first one. There's the second one. Here's the third one, right? And it can't crack it. So now watch. You get up here and you get them to net sell. Okay. And remember, the cumulative volume delta is declining this whole time. All right. So now we say, oh, okay, well, so here you have a pink bar where it sells, sweeps the leg, doesn't come up to your stop, which is above where you sold it. Above this box, look at this. This is perfect. Where the tape was, okay? And so then you were able to sweep the leg with an entry. Now watch this. Negative 24.22% more traders leaned into the bid, skewing the delta, than leaning into the offer. This is our signal, okay? This is the signal. Look at this. And so then we get a buyer that gets absorbed here 819 times before they could sell 30. Now watch. How do I know that he got absorbed? Whoosh. Look at this. 841 by 0. Look, there's a pothole there that cannot get filled. Perfect. Inversion. Perfect. Perfect moving averages. Okay. You're hunting the VWAP. Perfect. All right. Now watch. It just keeps going. Okay. Now watch right here. Boom. Okay, so that's the review. Just I wanted to touch on that trade once again because that is the money that I like to look at. All right, now where are we going from here? I'm so glad you asked. All right, where we're going from here, traders, is very, very simple. It's binary. It's yes or no. It's on or off. It's here or here, here or here, and it's going to do it very quickly. I hate to disappoint you and say, oh, well, we got this 1.21 gigawatt flux capacitor doing this and that and that and that. No, I don't have that for you. All right, what I have for you is it's going to go here or here very quickly. Okay, on the 4 hour, very, very quickly. Okay, it's going to here. Okay, 6,800. Okay, this big red box. Okay, and then straight through it or up. Okay, or it's going back into all-time highs because this 4 hour bar is indecision. We didn't close below any sort of structure break. There's no change of character. If you guys are going to speak that language, there's no statement of whatever people want to call it, the blah, 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 right? It hasn't done a two-step process yet, not yet, okay? And so we can't just say, oh, it's going to go down into here no matter what. Look, either it's going to do it quickly or it's not. Look, the algorithms are either on or they're off, okay? And now what I want you to notice is, notice how volume has really shrunk up. Okay, this is the last thing that we're going to get up out of here. All right, the way that we want to look at this coming into the holiday season as we wrap up here, there's going to be window dressing for the big funds. They're going to wrap it up. They're not going to trade more than about another week. We need to make sure that we watch the volume. Now, in this low volume environment, as we get closer to the end of the year, what's going to happen is the junior traders are going to be at the desk watching the algos. Okay. And so the algos don't care whether it goes up or down or sideways. Here's what we know. The volume, when it's low, most people think it goes sideways. That is the perfect time for the algos to take advantage of the liquidity on both sides. I'm going to leave it right there. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Let's go. I hope by the time this comes out, the Bears have been defeated. Camper Van Seth, I'm so sorry, buddy. Or you guys going to be giving me a grief because the Chicago Bears will still be in first place. I'll see you later. Thanks.